All right. Ezekiel 26. And it came to be in the 11th year, on the first of the new moon, the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, because Soar has spoken against Jerusalem, aha, she, the gateway of the peoples, has been broken. She has been turned over to me. Let me be filled. She has been ruined. Therefore, thus said the Master Yahweh, see, I am against you, O Tsor, and shall cause many nations to come up against you, as the sea causes its waves to come up. And they shall destroy the walls of Tsor, and they shall break down her towers, and I shall scrape her dust from her, and shall make her like a shining rock. And she shall be a place for spreading nets in the midst of the sea. For I have spoken, declares the Master Yahweh, and she shall become plunder for the nations, while her daughter villages, which are in the fields, are killed by the sword. And they shall know that I am Yahweh. For thus said the Master Yahweh, see, I am bringing against Sor from the north Nebuchadnezzar, sovereign of Babel, a sovereign of sovereigns, with horses and with chariots and with horsemen, even an assembly and many people. With the sword he shall kill your daughters in the field, and he shall heap up a siege mound against you, and shall build a wall against you, and shall raise a large shield against you, and set the blow of his battering rams against your walls, and break down your towers with his weapons. From his many horses their dust shall cover you. From the noise of the horsemen and vehicles and chariots your walls will shake as he enters your gates, as men enter a city that is breached. With the hooves of his horses he tramples all your streets. He kills your people by the sword, and the columns of your strength shall fall to the ground. And they shall plunder your riches, and they shall loot your merchandise, and they shall break down your walls and destroy your pleasant houses, and they shall put your stones and your timber and your dust in the midst of the water. And I shall cause the sound of your songs to cease, and let the sound of your lyres be heard no more. And I shall make you like a shining rock, and let you be a place for spreading nets, never to be rebuilt. For I, Yahweh, have spoken, declares the Master Yahweh. Thus said the Master Yahweh to Sor, would the coastlands not shake at the sound of your fall? When the wounded cry, when the killing occurs in your midst? And all the princes of the sea shall come down from their thrones, and they shall lay aside their robes, and take off their embroidered garments, and put on trembling, and sit on the ground. And they shall tremble continuously, and they shall be astonished at you. And they shall take up a lamentation for you, and say to you, how you have perished, O one inhabited by seafaring men, the city well praised, who was strong at sea, she and her inhabitants, who put their fear in all her inhabitants. Now the coastlands tremble on the day of your fall, and the coastlands by the sea shall shudder at your going out. For thus said the Master Yahweh, when I make you a ruined city, like cities no longer inhabited, when I bring the deep upon you, and great waters cover you, then I shall bring you down with those who go down into the pit, to the people of old. And I shall make you dwell in the lowest part of the earth, in wastes of old, with those who go into the pit, so that you do not return. But I shall establish splendor in the land of the living. I make you a horror, and let you be no more. And you are sought for, but never found again, declares the Master Yahweh. 27. The word of Yahweh came again to me, saying, now, son of man, take up a lamentation for Sor. And you shall say to Sor, you who dwell at the entrance to the sea, merchants of the peoples on many coastlands, thus said the Master Yahweh, O Sor, you yourself have said, I am perfect in loveliness. Your borders are in the heart of the seas. Your builders have perfected your loveliness. They have made all your timbers of fir trees from Sinir. They took a cedar from Lebanon to make a mast for you. From the oaks of Bashan they made your oars. They made your deck with ivory from the coasts of Kittim. Of fine embroidered linen from Mitzrayim was your sail to serve you as a banner. Of blue and purple from the coasts of Elisha was your covering. The inhabitants of Sidon and Arwad were your seamen. Your wise men, O Soar, were in you. They were your sailors. The elders of Gabal and its wise men were in you, repairing your seams. All the ships of the sea and their seamen were in you to trade your merchandise. Those from Persia, Lud, and Put were in your army as men of battle. Shield and helmet they hung up within you. They gave splendor to you, the sons of Arwad. And your army were on your walls all around. And the Gammadites were in your towers. They hung their shields on your walls all around. They perfected your loveliness. Tarshish was your merchant because of your great wealth. They gave you silver, iron, tin, and lead for your merchandise. Yawan, Tubal, and Meshech were your traders. They exchanged slaves and objects of bronze for your merchandise. Those from the house of Togarma exchanged horses and horsemen and mules for your merchandise. The men of Dedan traded with you. Many isles were your market. They brought you ivory tusks and ebony as payment. Aram was your merchant because of the multitude of your works. They gave you emeralds, purple, and embroidery, and fine linen and corals and rubies for your wares. Yehuda and the land of Israel were your traders. For your merchandise they exchanged wheat of Minnith and early figs and honey and oil and balm. Damasek was your merchant because of the multitude of your works, because of your great wealth of goods, with the wine of Helbon and with white wool. Wudan and Yawan from Uzal paid for your wares. They exchanged wrought iron, cassia, and cane for your merchandise. Dedan traded with you in saddlecloths for riding. Arabia and all the princes of Kedar were merchants for you. In lambs and rams and goats they were your merchants. The traders of Sheba and Ramah were your traders. They paid for your wares with the choicest spices and all kinds of precious stones and gold. Haran and Canaan and Eden, traders of Sheba, Ashur, and Kamad, traded with you. They traded with you in perfect items, in purple clothes and embroidered garments, in chests of multicolored clothes, in strong twined cords among your merchandise. The ships of Tarshish were the travelers of your merchandise, and you were filled and richly laden in the heart of the seas. Your seamen brought you into many waters, but the east wind broke you in the heart of the sea. Your wealth and your wares, your merchandise, your mariners and your sailors, your repairers of seams, your dealers in merchandise, and all your fighting men who were in you, and the entire company which is in your midst shall go down into the heart of the seas in the day of your fall. The coasts shaking at the sound of the cry of your sailors, and all the oarmen and mariners, all the sailors of the sea shall come down from their ships. They shall stand on the shore, and they shall raise their voice and cry bitterly over you, and cast dust on their heads, rolling themselves in ashes. And they shall shave themselves bald because of you, and shall gird themselves with sackcloth, and they shall weep for you with bitterness of heart and bitter wailing. And in their wailing for you, they shall take up a lamentation, and they shall lament for you, who is cut off in the midst of the sea like Zoar. When your wares went out by sea, you have filled many peoples. With your great wealth and your merchandise, you have made the sovereigns of the earth rich. In the time you are broken by the seas, In the depths of the waters, your merchandise and all your company shall fall in your midst. And the inhabitants of the isles shall be astonished at you, and their sovereigns shall be greatly afraid. Their faces shall be troubled. The merchants among the peoples shall whistle at you. You shall become a horror and be no more forever. 28. And the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, say to the prince of Seir, Thus said the Master Yahweh, because your heart is lifted up, and you say, I am El. I sit in the seat of Elohim, in the heart of the seas, whereas you are a man, and not El, though you set your heart as the heart of Elohim. Look, you are wiser than Daniel. Has no secret been hidden from you? By your wisdom and your understanding, you have made riches for yourself and gathered gold and silver into the treasuries. By your great wisdom, by your trade, you have increased your riches, and your heart is filled up because of your riches. Therefore, thus said the Master Yahweh, because you have set your heart as the heart of Elohim, therefore, see, I am bringing against you strangers, the ruthless ones of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the loveliness of your wisdom, and they shall profane your splendor. Down into the pit they shall bring you, and you shall die the death of the slain in the heart of the seas. Would you still say before him who slays you, I am Elohim? Whereas you are man, and not El, in the hand of him who kills you. The death of the uncircumcised you shall die, by the hand of strangers. For I have spoken, declares the Master Yahweh. And the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, take up a lamentation for the sovereign of Seir. And you shall say to him, Thus said the Master Yahweh, you were sealing up a pattern, complete in wisdom and perfect in loveliness. You were in Eden, the garden of Elohim. Every precious stone was your covering, the ruby, topaz, and diamond, beryl, shoham, and jasper, sapphire, turquoise, and emerald, and gold. The workmanship of your settings and mountings was prepared for you on the day you were created. You were the anointed cherub that covered, and I placed you. You were on the set-apart mountain of Elohim. You walked up and down in the midst of stones of fire. You were perfect in your ways from the day you were created until unrighteousness was found in you. By the greatness of your trade, you became filled with violence within, and you sinned. So I thrust you from the mountain of Elohim, and I destroyed you. O covering of cherub, from the midst of the stones of fire, your heart was lifted up because of your loveliness. You corrupted your wisdom for the sake of your splendor. I threw you to the earth. I laid you before sovereigns to look at you. You profaned your set-apart places by your many crookednesses, by the unrighteousness of your trading. Therefore I brought forth fire from your midst. It has devoured you, and I turned you to ashes upon the earth before the eyes of all who see you. All who knew you among the peoples were astonished at you. Waste you shall be, and cease to be forever. And the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, set your face toward Sidon, and prophesy against her. And you shall say, Thus said the Master Yahweh, See, I am against you, O Sidon, and I shall be esteemed in your midst. And they shall know that I am Yahweh when I execute judgments in her. And I shall be set apart in her, and I shall send pestilence upon her, and blood in her streets. And the slain shall fall in her midst by the sword against her from all sides, and they shall know that I am Yahweh. And there shall no longer be a pricking briar or painting thorn for the house of Israel from among all who are around them, who despise them. And they shall know that I am the Master Yahweh. Thus said the Master Yahweh, when I have gathered the house of Israel from the peoples among whom they are scattered, I shall be set apart in them before the eyes of the nations, and they shall dwell in their own land, which I gave to my servant Jacob, and they shall dwell safely and build houses and plant vineyards and dwell safely when I execute judgment on all those around them who despise them. And they shall know that I am Yahweh, their Elohim. Chapter 29. In the 10th year, in the 10th month, on the 12th of the new moon, the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, set your face against Pharaoh, the sovereign of Mitzrayim, and prophesy against him and against Mitzrayim, all of it. Speak, and you shall say, Thus said the Master Yahweh, See, I am against you, O Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim, O great monster who lies in the midst of his rivers, who has said, My river is my own, and I have made it for myself. And I shall put hooks in your jaws, and I shall make the fish of your rivers cling to your scales, and I shall bring you up out of the midst of your rivers, and all the fish in your rivers cling to your scales, and I shall leave you in the wilderness, you and all the fish of your rivers. On the face of the field you shall fall, and you shall not be picked up or gathered. I shall give you as food to the beasts of the field and the birds of the heavens. And all the inhabitants of Mitzrayim shall know that I am Yahweh, because they have been a staff of reed to the house of Yisrael. When they grasped you in the hand, you broke and tore all their shoulders. When they leaned on you, you broke and made all their loins shake. Therefore, thus said the Master Yahweh, See, I am bringing a sword upon you, and shall cut off from you man and beast. And the land of Mitzrayim shall become a desert and a waste, and they shall know that I am Yahweh, because he said, The river is mine, and I have made it. Therefore, see, I am against you, and against your rivers, and shall make the land of Mitzrayim an utter waste, and a desert from Migdol to Suena, as far as the border of Cush. No foot of man shall pass through it, nor foot of beast shall pass through it, neither shall it be inhabited for 40 years. And I shall make the land of Mitzrayim a desert in the midst of the lands that are waste, and among the cities that are ruined. Her cities shall be a waste 40 years, and I shall scatter the Mitzrites among the nations, and I shall disperse them throughout the lands. For thus said the Master Yahweh, At the end of 40 years I shall gather the Mitzrites from the peoples among whom they were scattered, and I shall turn back the captivity of Mitzrayim, and I shall bring them back to the land of Pathros, to the land of their birth. There they shall be a lowly reign, being the lowliest of reigns, and never again exalt itself above the nations. And I shall make them few, so as not to rule over the nations. And no longer is it to be the refuge of the house of Israel, bringing to remembrance their crookedness when they turned to follow them. And they shall know that I am the Master Yahweh. And it came to be in the 27th year, in the first month, on the first of the new moon, that the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, Nebuchadnezzar, sovereign of Babel, made his army to serve a great service against Sor. Every head was made bald, and every shoulder worn bare. But he and his army received no reward from Sor for the service he served against it. Therefore, thus said the Master Yahweh, See, I am giving the land of Mitzrayim to Nebuchadnezzar, sovereign of Babel. And he shall take away her wealth, take her spoil, and remove her pillage, and it shall be a reward for his army. I have given him the land of Mitzrayim as a reward for his labor, because they worked for me, declares the Master Yahweh. In that day, in that day I shall make the horn of the house of Israel to spring forth, while I open your mouth to speak in their midst, and they shall know that I am Yahweh. Wow, it's warmer in here. 30. And the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, prophesy and say, Thus said the Master Yahweh, Howl, woe to the day, For the day is near, even the day of Yahweh is near. It is a day of clouds, the time of the nations. The sword shall come upon Mitzrayim, and great anguish shall be in Cush. When the slain fall in Mitzrayim, and they take away her wealth, and her foundations are broken down. Cush and Put and Lud, all the mixed people, and Cub, and the sons of the land of the covenant shall fall with them by the sword. Thus said Yahweh, those who lean on Mitzrayim shall fall, and the pride of her power shall come down from Migdol to Swene. Those within her shall fall by the sword, declares the Master Yahweh. They shall be ruined amidst the wastelands, and her cities shall be in the midst of the cities that are dried up. And they shall know that I am Yahweh when I have set a fire in Mitzrayim. And all her helpers are crushed. On that day messengers shall go forth before me in ships to make the complacent Cushites afraid, and great anguish shall come upon them, as on the day of Mitzrayim, for look, it is coming. Thus said the Master Yahweh, I shall cause the crowd of Mitzrayim to cease, by the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, sovereign of Babel. He and his people with him, the ruthless ones of the nations, are brought to destroy the land, and they shall draw their swords against Mitzrayim, and shall fill the land with the slain. And I shall make the rivers dry, and I shall sell the land into the hand of evil ones, and I shall lay the land waste, and all that is in it, by the hand of strangers. I, Yahweh, have spoken. Thus said the Master Yahweh, and I shall destroy the idols, and make an end of the images in Noph, and there shall no longer be a prince from the land of Mitzrayim. And I shall put fear in the land of Mitzrayim, and I shall make Pathros a waste, and I shall set fire to Soan, and I shall execute judgments in No. And I shall pour out my wrath on Sin, the stronghold of Mitzrayim, and I shall cut off the crowd of No. And I shall set a fire in Mitzrayim. Sin shall writhe in anguish. Excuse me. No is to be split open, and Noph has adversaries daily. The young men of Awen and Pi Beseth shall fall by the sword, while these cities go into captivity. And in Tehaphnehes, the day shall be darkened, when I scatter the yokes of Mitzrayim there, and the pride of her strength shall cease in her. A cloud shall cover her, and her daughters shall go into captivity, and I shall execute judgments on Mitzrayim, and they shall know that I am Yahweh. And it came to be in the 11th year, in the 1st month, on the 7th of the new moon, that the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, I have broken the arm of Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim. And see, it has not been bound up for healing, to put a bandage to bind it, to make it strong to hold a sword. Therefore, thus said the Master Yahweh, see, I am against Pharaoh, sovereign of Mitzrayim, and shall break his arms, both the strong one, excuse me, wow, but the strong one and the one that was broken, and I shall make the sword fall out of his hand, and shall scatter the Mitzrites among the nations, and disperse them throughout the lands, and strengthen the arms of the sovereign of Babel. And I shall put my sword in his hand, and I shall break Pharaoh's arms, and he shall groan before him with the groanings of the slain before him. And I shall strengthen the arms of the sovereign of Babel, but the arms of Pharaoh shall fall. And they shall know that I am Yahweh when I put my sword into the hand of the sovereign of Babel, and he shall stretch it out against the land of Mitzrayim. And I shall scatter the Mitzrites among the nations, and I shall disperse them throughout the lands, and they shall know that I am Yahweh. Shalom.